Pissing our pants yet? Boy, I have a feeling we're getting mighty close. Yeah, so that was my Negan impression. Now, I'm sorry I'm not as good as him. I mean, I don't have a barbed wire bat named Lucille. Instead, I have a wooden sword that I named Lucy. Alright, so today we got The Walking Dead Season 6. I'm going to primarily be talking about the finale, but I'm also going to touch base on some of the things that happened in the season that I feel like were relevant to the overall story, and some of the things that I probably didn't like as much. So if you haven't seen the 6th season of Walking Dead or the finale, then this is your spoiler alert. Again, spoiler alert. Okay, so if you follow along with The Walking Dead, then you know that a whole bunch of stuff is going on. I mean, the levee broke, the town was overrun with zombies, a lot of people were killed, all kind of shit. And one of the biggest things about the season was the introduction of Negan. Now, to me, that was one of the biggest things because I haven't read the graphic novel, but I do understand that Negan is the biggest and baddest bad guy of the whole series. So I was super excited about him. But with that being said, we didn't actually get introduced to Negan until the finale. It was more like Negan's henchmen and Negan's ways and his ideology and his rules and his world that we were introduced to, if that sounds fair. But we'll get into all that later. Right out the gate in this season, we pick up with a cliffhanger where we thought that Glenn was dead. And if you're a fan like I am, then you understand the writers have done this to us a few times. Either they want to give us as fans heart attacks or they have something out for Glenn. Either way, it makes for good entertainment and good TV. So in the first half of this season, all types of mayhem and tragedy go on, and it basically all takes place in a couple of days in the Walking Dead universe, and that goes to show you how messed up these people's lives are now. Well, after they recover from everything, Rick goes to train up the townsfolk and get them ready for what's to come, because they have to be able to protect themselves and protect the town and go to war if they have to. And Rick feels like he does a pretty good job, but he really doesn't realize how big the rest of the world is. But he finds out in the finale. One of the things I really liked about this season was the backstory they gave us on Morgan. I mean, he's been in the show since basically the beginning, and he's had some really high highs and some really low lows. I mean, he went from being a normal guy trying to survive to batshit crazy to now he loves life and give everything a second chance. And when they did his story in this season, it kind of helped us understand his ideology and how he got to where he is now. And I really enjoyed that, even though it wasn't the most exciting part of the season. Another thing this season did was it kind of expanded on the background characters of Alexandria, and it kind of lets you know a little bit more about them and who they were and all that. But as always with this show, as soon as you got to know somebody, they basically got killed off. It's pretty predictable if you think about it. If they get too much screen time, or if they get a whole episode to themselves, and 9 times out of 10, that's it for them. One of the things that I really didn't like too much about this season was what they did to my girl Carol. Carol's one of my favorite characters of the show, and she is one of the strongest people, if not the strongest, in Rick's crew. And we all know her as being a ruthless, cutthroat killer, but in this season she starts hyperventilating and crying and having breakdowns. And at first I thought that was a ploy to throw the enemy off so that they'll drop their guard and she could do what Carol does best, which is fuck shit up. But as the season progresses, you see that this is really somebody that Carol is becoming, and she really just can't handle it anymore, and I really don't know if I like that. So we just have to wait and see where the show goes with this. When the finale starts, Carol has left the town because she says she can't kill anymore. So she has to leave because she loves the people, but she can't kill for them. So that makes Morgan chase her, and then you have Daryl, Michonne, and Glenn going after Dwight to take revenge for what he's done. Now, instantly I could tell that this was a horrible mistake on Alexandria's part, and it kind of gives me the impression that this is the start of the downfall of Alexandria. Rick is trying to take Maggie to the hilltop because she's having complications with the pregnancy, and they have a few of his top people with them, and they basically, in my opinion, have left Alexandria unguarded. Although Rick thinks that he has the people trained up, he soon realizes that he's completely out of his league when it comes to Negan. While they're trying to get to the hilltop, they keep getting cut off, and Negan's men keep redirecting them here, redirecting them there, and it's basically a huge game of cat and mouse. But once they finally think that they have a way out, they run into Negan's ultimate trap, and boom, in comes Negan. Now I want to start off by saying Jeffrey Dean Morgan kills it as Negan. The guy just has the role down to a T. I couldn't think of anyone that I'd rather see play the role. He's so charismatic and he just fits. There's something about him. Now, Negan was only on screen for maybe 10 or 12 minutes in this finale, but he definitely steals the show, and he's the highlight of this season, in my opinion. I mean, just from the intro, he comes out with this bat on his back, wrapped in barbed wire with a smooth name like Lucille, and he comes out with a smile on his face, and you kind of can tell this guy is the real deal. Now, almost immediately into his introduction with Rick, he lets him know, hey, you've killed more people of mine than I'm willing to tolerate, and I'm gonna pay you back. And he lets Rick know basically they have rules, and his rule is we kill one of you, then we take half your shit, then you work for me. And you can tell that like he asserts his dominance onto Rick and his crew right out the gate. I mean, he has them on their knees and he is hovering over them with the bat, and he's basically letting them know that one of you all are gonna die. And he turns the selection into a child's game. He starts to go any, mini, miny, mo, and the camera's panning back and forth between the characters, and you try to follow along with it, because I know I did. But they did a great job with the editing. They started cutting between the characters really fast, and the editing and the nursery rhyme aren't quite lining up, so you really don't know who it is. So they basically leave us with another cliffhanger, which they have become notorious for. When he finally selects, Negan just cracks the person over the head with the bat, and it shows the person's point of view. And I instantly thought it was Eugene, because Eugene had this big goodbye in the beginning, well, middle of the episode. So I figured it was him. But when they show the first person view with the blood running down, the guy kind of looks up at him, kind of like, is that your best shot? Then I kind of changed my pick, because even Negan was like, oh, taking it like a champ. So at that moment, I thought it was Abraham, because during the selection process, Abraham kind of buffs up his chest and sticks his chin up like, select me, I'm not scared of you. But then I also think it might be Daryl, because we all know how much of a badass Daryl is. But regardless of who he chose, I'm pretty sure we're not going to like the outcome, because it was all of Rick's top people, basically. So I can't wait for season 7. I'm definitely eager to see who died. I want to see more of Negan. How would Rick deal with it? I want to see the whole 9. And so far, I have really few complaints about Walking Dead, and I have to say that this series so far is legendary. Alright, so that does it for this TV review. As always, whether you liked it or whether you hated it, comment below, let me know. But if you liked it and you thought this video rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.